Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. I first want to let you know that that introductory music was courtesy of Gary Green and his big band of barristers. Gary is on our Board of Governors, and we always love to highlight his work, so thank you, Gary. I am Lynda McCauley. I'm the Executive Director of the Beverly Hills Bar Association, and I am here to welcome you to our 2021 launch. Like so many other things, we had to cancel our installation dinner this year because of COVID-19, but we really still wanted to celebrate our new leadership and the accomplishments of the last year. So thanks for joining for that. I'm new to BHBA. I haven't had a chance to meet all of you. And for the past 7 months, the bar, we haven't been able to do the things that we maybe do best, which are to gather in person, to learn and to network and to honor others. And so that was a challenge, but we pivoted to online formats for CLE and for networking, and we've been really gratified by the enthusiastic response from all of you. And I've deeply appreciated during these long months, very strange months, the support of our Board of Governors, especially our Executive Committee and our first speaker tonight. Mike Sohigian had what is a most momentous of presidential years as president of BHBA, and he has been unfailingly supportive and helpful in helping me get to know BHBA and all of you. So I'm going to turn it over to Mike now for him to give his closing remarks of his presidential year.
Thank you, Belinda, and thanks to all of you for being here in the last few moments of my term as president of the Beverly Hills Bar Association. I assure you we will have a peaceful transition of power to my longtime friend, a great lawyer and an even better man, Adam Siegler. As Belinda mentioned, the year in which I've had the honor of serving as the association's president has been eventful. At this time last year, the bar's CEO was retiring after 16 years, and we were beginning the process of finding his successor. The financial condition of the association was as bad as it had been since 2003, and we faced persistent questions about the continued relevancy of our organization in a world and a profession that are increasingly driven by technology and that challenge our association's purpose. Our search committee, chaired by Malcolm McNeil and Bob Aronoff, worked diligently and sifted through resumes, interviewed multiple candidates. By year's end, they had found a gem. Belinda joined us in February. She brought energy, ingenuity, and dedication to the job of remaking this association to continue to serve its mission in a changing world. Now, a lot of Belinda's work was repairing the bar's finances, and this involved some very painful decisions, including laying off longtime staff who had given years to this organization and whom volunteers had grown to love. Saying goodbye to these friends who shared my devotion to the bar was the worst part of my year as president, but it had to be done. Then about halfway through the year came the pandemic, with offices, stores, restaurants, churches, virtually every place people gather shut down and in-person activities suspended. The bar's outlook seemed nearly as bleak as the prognoses of thousands infected by the virus. And if that weren't enough of a challenge, after the killing of George Floyd, demands for racial justice emerged throughout the nation, including in the streets of Beverly Hills. Something surprising happened, though. The pandemic forced this process of remaking the Bar Association that was already underway to take on greater force and speed. As Belinda mentioned, we presented our programs virtually and hundreds of people attended. We created relationships with sponsors and advertisers who were eager to communicate with our members, and we improved our web presence while reducing our technology costs, finally giving members the ability to communicate directly with each other about issues of interest in their practice or the profession. These developments allowed BHBA to maintain and even increase our relevance, both to our members and the profession. When Judge Brazil, as presiding judge, announced the many measures the Los Angeles Superior Court was taking to respond to the pandemic, we were able to pass his messages on to our members to keep them informed about and engaged in the administration of justice. Our section executive committees and networking groups met regularly via remote technology, staying connected, giving support and advice, and enriching their practices and relationships with one another, as well as creating value for the bar. As I pass the leadership of this organization to Adam, I feel some pride and more than a little relief. We made it through some very troubled times, and I am breathing a bit easier with the storm clouds behind us. I'm proud of where we've come, though I deserve very little of the credit. Lynda and her staff, including Gena Kluchnikov, whom I must single out, have done fabulous work under extremely trying circumstances. I merely held the tiller. They set the course and trimmed the sails. There are sure to be storms ahead. We're still in a pandemic, after all. No one seems to know when or how that will end. Addressing the roots of racism and systemic inequality in our profession and society is an ongoing struggle, and we still don't know for sure whether or how this association can continue to lead the profession, to advocate for justice, equality, and the rule of law, and to serve our members and our community. I hope this past year will be prologue. And with great pleasure, I pass the presidency to Adam. I know he will make us proud.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'm really touched by everything that you've said, but more by what you've done. Ladies and gentlemen, it would take the full half hour of this program to thank Mike Sohigian for all that he has done and all the leadership initiatives that he has shown throughout really the most troublesome, tumultuous time that I can recall in this bar. And he has re-energized and reinvigorated this bar in a way that is so exciting to me. I'm glad to be the beneficiary of all his hard work. I think when we look back 10 years from now, people will still say this was their finest hour and Mike Sohigian was the best president. Thank you for everything that you've done, Mike. I want to thank Belinda McCauley, who's done a tremendous job in jumping in literally in the middle of COVID and taking charge and making things happen. She's a tremendous asset to this organization. Gena Kluchnikov, the unseen hand behind many of these things, also one of our tremendous staff members, and to all of our staff members, both present and former. We give our thanks because we lawyers know that you do the work, you make it run. I just have a few themes for the coming year, building on what Mike has done. And the first is collegiality, civility. I really believe very strongly in the old-fashioned virtue of treating each other as friends and colleagues. We have many, many different views. Many of us are on different sides of very contentious legal and political questions. But there's room for everybody in the bar, for everybody's viewpoint, as long as we express it with civility, and as long as we remember that at the end of the day, we are friends and colleagues. Another theme that I want to perpetuate that Mike has carried on is that of community. We recognize not just our community of our members, to whom we owe a great duty, but also our neighbors and friends in Beverly Hills and beyond that throughout Los Angeles and even the world, because the Beverly Hills Bar, through the miracle of the internet, is now an international bar association. We draw from everywhere. But as Mike said, there's still a lot to be done in terms of justice. And I think we have a lot of work to do in diversity and inclusion. And I'm pleased to be working with LaVon Lawson, our past president, who is spearheading our outreach and diversity and inclusion efforts. It's my hope during my presidency that we will see many more diverse voices sitting at the table behind Mike Sohigian in his screenshot. That table should be populated by every voice from every background. Finally, the third theme I want to emphasize in these times is compassion. The Beverly Hills Bar has always been a service organization for the most needy. I think that during these times, we need to remember the needy, the sick, the unrepresented, including veterans, homeless people, immigrants, people with disabilities. All of these people are desperately in need of our help. We can and we will help them. The last thing I'd like to say is that all of these virtues that I've talked about, collegiality, community, and compassion, they're also the virtues of family. I invited everybody here who is speaking to bring their family members with them. And I said to everyone, it's okay if your child or your cat runs across the frame. We are friends, colleagues, but we're also family. And so I want to take a moment to introduce my wife, who's put up with me for all these many years, my wife, Sandy,
Hello, everyone.
and the person who actually runs the family, our dog, Tatiana.
Tatiana.
And for those of you who are stuck at home in COVID land, you know that your family members and pets are the most important working colleagues that you have. That's the way it's been with me. Sandy has been with me through 2 deployments to the Middle East, many years of military service, and many years of service to this bar association. So I want to thank each of the family members of each of our members and officers for giving us so generously of their time and allowing them to do what they do to make this evening possible and to make this year possible. So with these happy thoughts in mind, let's watch a video recap. It's a short video, but I think it highlights all of the great work that has been done under Mike Sohigian's leadership, and it gives us a good launching pad for what we can do in the future. So let's take a look and see what a great year this has been. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see it's been a tremendous year for the bar. I'm very proud of everything that Mike and Belinda and their team have done, and I hope to continue it and further it in the future. None of this work happens by magic. It takes a very dedicated group of people to make these events happen. And one of the driving forces behind our board is my good friend and colleague, Nadira Imam. She is the incoming secretary and treasurer for the board, but she's also been on the board of governors. And in addition to that, she is the outgoing Barristers president. So I'm introducing her now in one of her 3 roles as outgoing Barrister president to talk a little bit about her presidency and what she sees for the future. But I just want to say that it's people like Dira who do so much for so many, who in my mind are the future of this bar association. Dira, I'm pleased to have you as a colleague, and we're honored that you could be here. Thank you for giving so much to the bar. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate your kind words very, very much. Thank you. Like most of you, I couldn't have imagined the turn that this year would take when I first took the office of Barrister President. We started my term with our holiday project, which we actually packed shoeboxes full of gifts to send to underprivileged children just throughout the world. And we did that with the work of Samaritan's Purse. Who would have thought that only a few months later, Samaritan's Purse, the same organization, would be actually setting up a field hospital in Central Park in New York City? It was something unimaginable at the time, and yet it was such a blessing that we were involved with them in any way, because we were also involved with helping in New York with COVID. And despite the circumstances this year, I'm really pleased with what we've been able to accomplish with the help of our incredible staff here at the BHBA. While our ever so popular happy hours and in-person community outreach all came to a halt, with the help of Belinda and Genna, Alex, and Jose, we were able to go forward with virtual programming for our events, and we were even able to host a virtual swearing in for new admittees to the State Bar, I'm really happy to say. I'm so grateful to have had this experience and to have served as the Barrister President this past year. It has been my honor and a great privilege, and now it's time to pass the baton. So let me tell you a little bit about David Wagmeister. David is an attorney with Fenton Law LLP, where he represents and advises healthcare providers on litigation and regulatory matters. He's been a member of the Beverly Hills Bar Association for 6 years, and he's held the offices of Secretary and President-elect for the Barristers. David is a proud graduate of USC Gould School of Law, where he was senior submissions editor of the Southern California Law Review and a magna cum laude graduate of Tufts University. Since I've known David, he's been enthusiastic about the Barristers and our very many projects, and he's always willing to lend a helping hand. He's been a great support and sounding board to me during my term, and I think he will be a wonderful Barrister President. I look forward to seeing how his term unfolds. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you the incoming Barrister President, David Wagmeister.
Hey, David, I think you got to unmute there.
Yes, we'd like to hear what you have to say.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much, Dira, for that really kind introduction. And congratulations to you on your installation as Secretary Treasurer of the BHBA. I'm truly honored to be taking this presidency of the BHBA Barristers. First and foremost, I want to thank my amazing family for all of your incredible love and support. I could not have achieved any of this without you. I'd like to also thank my executive committee, Dira, Jasmine, and Kent, for being great partners for the Barristers this year. I also acknowledge all the past presidents of the Barristers, and specifically those who have served since I've been involved in the BHBA: Daron Igbali, Will Wenzel, Jan Goldstein, Elizabeth Hall Peterson, Jack McMorrow, and Dira. You've all been wonderful mentors and friends over the past 6 years. And to Adam Siegler and the rest of the board, congratulations, and I look forward to working with you and getting to know you even better. And thank you to Belinda McCauley and the BHBA staff for working so hard to make sure everything runs so smoothly. This year is a year like no other. I enter this presidency as we're all grappling with the challenges of a horrible pandemic, painful racial strife, extreme political polarization, and catastrophic weather events. But despite these challenges, I'm excited about the possibilities of the upcoming year. I look forward to developing creative programs that will engage our members in the Zoom era, even when we can't be together physically. This is also a unique time of growth and learning, and I plan to further prioritize social awareness, diversity, and activism for justice as central principles of the Barristers. I also see this time of economic uncertainty as a great opportunity to strengthen our relationships with law schools across the city and ensure that the Barristers will have a constant influx of new members and a strong foundation for years to come. So with that, I look forward to working with all of you to make amazing things happen. And once again, thank you all for the honor to serve as your Barristers President.
David, thank you very much and welcome to the ranks of the presidency. You're going to have a busy year, but we're going to have so much fun together pursuing all these projects that you have in mind. I look forward to working with you. We're going to do a great job together.
Thank you, Adam.
So with that, I'm going to introduce somebody who's very special to our organization. This is the lawyer who has the unique distinction of being both the outgoing and the incoming president of the Beverly Hills Bar Foundation, which is our charitable arm, which does so many of the good things that we talk about. And in addition, she is also a past president of the Beverly Hills Bar Association itself. And I believe she was also a president of the Barristers. You'll correct me if I'm wrong, but she has more titles than most diplomats and kings. But what she does is she brings an incredible energy, focus, drive, but also compassion and civic duty and commitment to pro bono. Lynda Spiegel has been a very, very wonderful and really inspiring leader in our bar. Lynda, we're pleased to have your continuing presence in everything that we do. Welcome again. It seems like you were just president a moment ago, but welcome back. And please tell us about your vision for the future of our bar and the foundation.
Thank you, Adam. You said such lovely things that it brought tears to my eyes, so forgive me if I get choked up. I want to echo everyone's thanks, and I want to echo everyone's congratulations for the coming year. I do agree with Adam. We're going to be better than we ever were before, and we are going to we're going to have a wonderful year. I'm honored and humbled to be installed again as president of the foundation. As Adam said, the foundation is the charitable arm of the BHBA, and we support its good works. Among them, our Roxbury Park Pro Bono Legal Clinic, our scholarships to law school students who have demonstrated academic excellence, commitment to public service upon graduation, who are emerging from severe socioeconomic hardships. Our San Michel, which the Barristers is leading and heading San Michel Homeless Project, which is a food buying, preparation, and serving program for a homeless shelter in Santa Monica. Our Modest Means Low Bono Legal Services for those people who cannot qualify for free legal aid, but can also not afford the regular hourly rates of an attorney. We are trying to bridge that justice gap. And our Rule of Law writing competition, which allows law students and actually anybody to write on how the rule of law has either affected a topic or to criticize a certain aspect of the rule of law. It's a good academic platform to generate ideas on the rule of law. We also recently partnered with the City Attorney's Office in LA Represents to assist the peaceful protesters in resolving any charges they might face during the recent demonstrations. And we stand ready to provide support and connections between pro bono attorneys and tenants who might be wrongfully threatened with eviction proceedings stemming from the COVID-19 crisis. Those are our core good works that we support. We welcome all BHBA members to join the foundation board, and we encourage and in fact depend upon all of your charitable donations. So that allows us to continue that support. And you can find all of the information I just said on www.bhbf, as in foundation.org. And now I'd like to invite you to join me in congratulating the 2020 Beverly Hills Bar Foundation Scholarship recipients who normally would have had an entire luncheon devoted to them and the California Supreme Court, but because of COVID, that didn't happen. However, you can click on the link that is now in your chat, and you can see the beautiful video of the interviews of each of these very deserving law school scholarship recipients. Again, thank you to everyone, and I look forward to serving with everyone and having a great year.
Thank you very much, Lynda. That's another example of the compassion and community service that Lynda and the bar and the foundation bring to bear to all of our community. So now I'm going to encourage everyone to watch that video. We're going to make that link available to you. But what I'd like to do now is to introduce the new ExCom, the executive committee, which consists of the officers of our bar, plus a number of ex-officio members who won't be introduced this evening, but who will definitely be on our letterhead and at our meetings. Everybody has moved up a place, so I'm really proud to acknowledge Tony Ross as the president-elect, Malcolm McNeil as the first vice president, Alexander Rufus-Isaacs, my English barrister friend, as the second vice president, and of course, Nadira Imam as our secretary-treasurer. And I'd like to invite each one of them in turn, starting with Tony, to say a few words about their vision for the future, because it's their bar and their leadership as well. Thank you. Tony?
Hi, I'm Tony Ross, president-elect of the Beverly Hills Bar Association. I'm looking forward to a new term as president-elect and working closely with Adam and the staff and board of governors of the Beverly Hills Bar Association. It should be a good year.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. We're going to be a great team. Malcolm McNeil is a business and tax whiz. He's helped us through many thorny business decisions we've had to make. Malcolm, say hello.
Thank you so much, Adam, and a good evening to everybody. The vision for the future, it's only bright. The association has, as was said by Michael, we've navigated some tough storms, but with the leadership and dedication that we have now and the vibrancy of the new Board of Governors with the new members, we have the human resources and the attitudes to make the bar a place where everybody is going to want to be. And with your leadership, Adam, we look forward to it. We have our full support.
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you. Next up is our second vice president, Alexander Rufus-Isaacs, who has a rather unique distinction of doing panels and events both here and in London and elsewhere. He's really a representative of the international flavor of our bar association. Alexander, are you joining us? We call you Zan, but everybody else can too now.
Thank you, Adam. And congratulations on your elevation, and we look forward to having a great year. Yeah, my name is Alexander Rufus-Isaacs, which is a bit of a mouthful. People call me Zan. I'm delighted that we have Alessandra Tarissi de Jacobis joining the board, so I will no longer have the longest name on the board. So welcome, Alessandra. I have 5 wishes for the coming year. I think firstly, I'd like for us to increase our membership. Secondly, I'd like to include more younger attorneys in our organization. Bar associations as a whole tend to have aging membership, and we rely very much on our younger members to sustain us. Thirdly, I encourage very much the outreach initiatives that the likes of Lynda and Levon have put forward. I would like to see, for example, perhaps more town halls on topical issues where we can interact more with the community rather than staying in our elevated ivory towers. Fourthly, I would like us to maintain the amazing progress that we have made with the finances of this association through a series of what I might call right-sizing and efforts. And we are no longer dependent on just a few large fundraising events, but we're truly a stable organization, and hats off to everybody who has achieved that. Lastly, our motto on our website is Lead, Advocate, Serve. I endorse that very much, and I hope very much that we're going to live up to our proud tradition of being a leading voice in favor of civil rights and the rule of law, while of course at the same time in these challenging times remaining apolitical. Thank you. And also I'd like to pay tribute to Belinda and very much to Genna, who have really done tremendous work in this last year. Welcome, Adam, and we look forward to serving under you.
Thank you very much, Zan. You've said a lot of things better than I could have. We owe so much to our colleagues who make this happen. Lastly, I'd like to introduce the newest member of the Executive Committee, someone who will look familiar to you, namely Nadira Imam. Nadira, I know I'm going to put you on the spot, but would you say just a few words about what your vision is going forward as our Secretary-Treasurer and as you work your way up the ladder towards the presidency?
Well, Adam, I really look forward to working with you and the rest of the ExCom. I'm so privileged to be able to do that. And I'm really looking forward to exploring new ideas about how we can positively impact our profession and also make a difference in our world, our community, our profession, our organization. I would like to make a difference in the world with this organization. That's my huge vision for BHBA.
You know, I have real confidence, Dira, that you are going to make that happen. I really do. Thank you to all of our incoming and upgraded executive committee members. I'd like to do something a little different that we haven't done before with the installation dinner because we have this new medium that we're working with. I want to take a moment to introduce our incoming Board of Governors members, because after all, it's the board that drives a lot of the work that we do and makes the decisions. And I think it's important to hear from them about what they find exciting about the bar, why they joined, and what they hope to do in this coming year. And having no other organizing principle other than alphabetical order, I'm going to invite our first incoming Board of Governor member, Jeffrey Bils, to say hello to everybody in our bar and who's watching across the world. Jeffrey?
Thank you, Adam, and hello, everyone. I want to thank Mike Sohigian for just an outstanding job during a difficult time. I'm looking forward to working with you, Adam, and with all of you as we continue to adapt our programming and services during this challenging time, as we continue to elevate the Beverly Hills Bar Association's profile within the legal community, and as we reach deeper into our own community of professionals to get the word out about the opportunities our Bar Association offers for service, for legal education, and for professional growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I hope there was a court reporter taking that down. That was brilliant, and I think it'll set a good agenda for us going forward. Our next incoming Board of Governor member is Lynda Chung. Lynda, we'd welcome you to say some words about your vision for the coming year. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Adam. I'm Lynda Chung. I'm a probate litigator and partner at Valencia Rose in Century City. I have been serving as a co-chair of the Trust and Estate section for the past year. And for the past 5 years, I was an executive committee member of the Trust and Estate sections. And in case you're wondering what the Trust and Estate section does, we serve a prime rib at Lowry's once a month, and we combine them with the really informative programs. And what I'm excited about upcoming this year is that I get to continue to serve the Beverly Hills Bar, and especially outreach programs with the Korean American Bar Associations, Women Lawyers Association, SoCal, Chinese American Association, etc. So thank you very much. I'm very excited.
Lynda, thank you for your service to the bar. We look forward to all the exciting programs you have in mind, particularly those involving prime rib. I do want to point out something that's very important that Lynda said, and that is we have to do more outreach and inclusion to the other bar associations to make sure that their input is heard at our bar, because we are a collective and inclusive bar. And I think Lynda is a great example of how we can get those voices back to our conference table. Thank you, Lynda, and welcome. Our next Board of Governor member is Vince Farhat. Vince, tell us about what you want to do this coming year and how we can support you in doing it.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you very much. My name is Vince Farhat. I chair the White Collar Defense and Investigations Group at Jeffrey Mangels. And I think for me, I'm really excited first to promote collegiality and civility in our legal community through our association. And I'm also excited about getting more and younger lawyers from my own firm active and involved in the association. So I'm really, really pleased to be joining, and thank you for letting me be of service.
Vince, thank you very much and welcome. I know your firm well, and I know you're going to do a great job. I hope we don't need your services personally, though. Our next incoming board member is Terry Magady. Welcome and say a few words to us. Tell us what you're excited about and how we can help.
Thanks, Adam. The first thing I think about that I'm so appreciative of is really a welcome back. The words you said to, you, Adam, said to Lynda. In a different incarnation, I think it was like 30 years ago, I was like chair of the real estate committee for the Beverly Hills Bar. Then at some point, I also served on the board of governors. And then it seems forever I've been on the head of the elder law committee for the Beverly Hills Bar. So I'm hoping that the same enthusiasm and energy I had as a young lawyer stays with me, maybe has matured, but the excitement is still there. And, I just feel great about getting back into some of these roles that I had before and helping in the future of the bar.
Thank you very much, Terry. I like to think of ourselves as acquiring some level of wisdom and judgment with age. I don't know if it's true for me, but it obviously is for you. We welcome you back to the board and look forward to having your wisdom and guidance as we go forward. Next up is our incoming board member, Erin Prouty. Erin, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, good. Not everyone shows up at the same time, but there you are and welcome.
Okay, thanks. I am also a trust and estates lawyer. I'm at the Westwood firm of Hoffman, Sabin, and Wattenmaker. I've been involved with the trust and estates section of the Beverly Hills Bar for over 20 years. I won't get more specific than that because you don't need to know how old I am. I was also on the executive committee for that section. And have always just marveled at that particular section is a very large membership and a very strong section. And I've been a happy consumer of prime rib for all those years as well. So I'm excited to now serve the bar in this different capacity, which is more of an overreaching sort of group rather than just one section. And I think in these times, now that we're sort of recovering from the initial punch of COVID, that we can take a breath now and try to look at what we can do not only for the community, but for our members whose law practices have had to adjust very quickly and change. And maybe we can do some things to help support that, whether it's technology or providing educational seminars and things. I'd like to look into that a little bit. But also, of course, continuing all the wonderful programs that the bar has been doing for so many years. So I appreciate this opportunity and I look forward to this year. Thanks.
Well, we look forward to it. I can see there's going to be a lot of energy coming from Trusts and Estates. So thank you for that. And I look forward to joining you for the prime rib. Do we have Al Provinziano with us? I can't see everyone on the screen, but Al, if you're there, speak out.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. And,
welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here, and everyone calls me Al, and my name also is quite long, at Alphonse Provinziano. I'm a family law attorney here in Beverly Hills, and the immediate past co-chair of the family law section. And I'm really excited to be a part of the Board of Governors and work on areas of technology and membership to drive new members in. Something I'm really passionate about is setting up a new modern Slack group for members of the family law section and other sections, which could replace some of these old listservs that we have and allow people to talk in real time and allow older, more experienced members to coach and mentor the new members. So I'm really excited to be a part of the Board of Governors.
Al, thank you very much. I know that you were right in the middle of a client call just before this event started, and that's just the way of the future now, that people have to balance all these competing Zoom calls and speaking events and everything else. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening. Next up is actually my colleague from Greenberg Traurig, Mathew Rosengart, as distinguished attorney and former clerk to Justice Souter. Matt, say a few words to our assembled gathering here.
Thank you, Adam. It's great to be here, albeit virtually, and it's really an honor to meet virtually again, and I look forward to doing so in the future in person. So many of my colleagues, and look forward to working with you. By way of brief background, I'm a partner or shareholder at the Greenberg Traurig law firm, where I focus on entertainment litigation, corporate litigation, and like Vince, white-collar defense. By way of background, my first position after law school was clerking for Justice Souter. I should clarify that that was shortly, although I appreciate the compliment, Justice Souter was elevated to the U.S. Supreme Court, but I'm fortunate enough to have him as a dear friend. And at the risk of sounding self-aggrandizing, Justice Souter and my position after that with the Department of Justice, where I served as an assistant U.S. attorney, I think helped instill in me the concepts that I've heard here today throughout as a through line from so many people, including Adam and Belinda, which is service and collegiality and civility. And if anything, in the past several months, I think all of those are all the more important. So I look forward to working with everybody in helping to instill those throughout the community. And again, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you, Matt, and welcome to the board. Our next incoming board member is Alessandra Tarissi de Jacobis, and she has been doing important work on the international side. We welcome you and hope that your voice will be heard around the world. Alessandra?
Yes, thank you, Adam. Thank you. I'm so honored, so happy, and I just want to, maybe I will begin with some thank you words. The first thank you that I want to give is to Malcolm McNeil. 2 years ago, when I decided to move in Los Angeles, he was clever enough to suggest me to join the Beverly Hills Bar Association, and I was so happy to join. I found not only a beautiful bar, but also a family, friends, and whatever, especially during these times. So, which is very much important, especially during the COVID time in Italy, when I was stuck here and I could not even travel back to my family. All the Beverly Hills Bar Association officers, they were very close to me, and thank you so much. I also want to thank Melinda and Genna. They are making an amazing work with me, especially because we are raising this new committee, which is not really new, the international committee, but still we have so many things that are going on from an international perspective. We are trying to give an international flavor on top of what Zen is already doing, but we are trying to really have people and attorneys from all over the world. We are organizing a lot of seminars. We have a magazine that is called the Global Fashion Lawyer. So we really have a lot of energy. We are young. We really want to, to continue this venture with the Beverly Hills Bar Association for a long time. So thank you again. And by the way, my name is Alessandra Tarissi de Jacobis, but everybody calls me Ale. And here in the US, they call me Ali. So I don't want to steal the name to anyone, but please call me Ale. Thank you.
Well, welcome, Alessandra, or Ale. And that's an easy one for me because my granddaughter's name is Alessandra, and we call her Ale.
Yes. Okay, fantastic.
So we have a family connection. We're very, very proud to have you join us to come here and be so successful and be elevated to the board. We know you're going to do phenomenal work in really expanding the international reach of this bar organization. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Next up is our incoming board member, Jeffrey Wolf. Jeff and I have met virtually, but not in person, I think. So Jeffrey.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am.
Welcome. And
yes,
please say a few words to our group, and we're glad to have you here.
Thank you very much. I'm Jeff Wolf. I'm a personal injury trial lawyer, and I've been pleased to be a part of the Beverly Hills Bar and a part of the network, which is a business development group at the bar. I've enjoyed seeing the network grow and see the common purpose and the collegiality grow in the group. It's been a pleasure to see the friendships that we've developed, which is all the more important at a time like this. So I'm interested to see this continue and continue to have these kinds of relationships develop. I'd like to see more this group and this bar become more inclusive, even more inclusive than it is, and more diverse. So I'm looking forward to working with everyone on the Board of Governors and at the bar and making more friendships along the way.
Well, Jeff, welcome. I can see you're a hard-charging litigator type by all the code books behind you. You must be at your office, so I applaud you for that. I can see you're going to bring a lot of energy and drive that litigators do. So welcome to the board, and we're going to have some fun working together. I do need to add two more people that we need to introduce, and I apologize for expanding the schedule just a little bit, but they're important and I want to recognize them. We have two incoming members as well to the Beverly Hills Bar Foundation under the leadership of Lynda Spiegel. And the first is Orit Gandish. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you so
And please tell us how much fun you're going to have working with Lynda on these very important charitable activities.
Yes, so my name is Orit Gandish. I'm the owner and broker of Geffen Real Estate, a commercial and residential real estate brokerage. We're based in Beverly Hills. And I was really motivated to join the foundation by the amazing work that it does to help those that are in need, enabling them to pursue justice. And I'm honored and excited to join the board of the foundation.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you on the foundation. I can't overemphasize how important this foundation is to everything that we do, because the charitable activities and fundraising that the foundation does are what funds many important clinics and outreach efforts that we conduct. So we're going to be working very closely together. We welcome you and thank you for participating in our bar and foundation.
Thank you so much.
And thank you. And last but not least is my good friend from the entertainment section, Pierre Pine. He's been a leader in that section and a tremendous litigator for many years. And we're glad to have you joining the charitable board as well. Litigators are often maligned, but they can occasionally be useful because they're very energetic and they get things done. Pierre, you're my last introductory guest and honoree this evening as part of our new board, but you're certainly not the least. Welcome. It's great to see you again, Pierre.
Thank you, Adam. And hey, congratulations on your position. Thank you for all your service to the organization and to the country. For everybody who doesn't know me, my name is Pierre Pine. I'm a partner at McPherson LLP. We do entertainment litigation, as Adam said. I'm happy and honored to take on the VP of Scholarships position with the foundation. I was really excited when Lynda and Zan reached out to me. As Adam mentioned, I've previously been the chair of the entertainment law section. And when I was, I'm still involved with them heavily, but I put together some programs previously with them to do law student outreach and specifically how to get an entertainment law, but this seemed like a natural kind of extension of that, and I'm all for helping them, become better attorneys and get involved and hopefully get involved with the BHBA. So I look forward to serving on the foundation and working with everyone involved. Thanks.
Pierre, good to see you again. We're going to have some fun working together. It'll be entertaining, just as it was in the entertainment section. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the actual legal portion of the program, the swearing in of all the board members and the officers. We're very pleased to have with us this evening the Honorable Helen Zukin, who is a judge of the LA Superior Court, but most importantly, she is presiding over at our Beverly Hills Courthouse, which is reopening for business. And we're very honored and pleased that we can have that tie with the Beverly Hills Courthouse, with which we have a long history. But before I turn it over to Judge Zukin, I would like to also acknowledge one very special guest we do have in the audience, and that is the Honorable Bobby Tillman. She is the supervising judge of the West District of the Los Angeles Superior Court, and it's very important that we have a good presence and contact with all members of the bar on the West Side. Judge Tillman, thank you for being here this evening. I can't see you in the glare of the gallery on the screen, but I appreciate that you were there. You honor us with your presence, and you let us know that the court recognizes the good work that the foundation and the bar do throughout the community. So, Your Honor, thank you for being here. With that, let me turn it over now to Judge Zukin. Like all the good litigators, I know when to give way to the judge. And Judge Zukin will talk to us a little bit about the state of the court, and will swear us all in. And with that, we will be able to close our ceremony. Thank you very much. Your Honor, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you for having me here this evening. It is my pleasure to swear in the new officers, board members. Your organization is so important. The work that we all do, we're in a noble profession together, where we try our very best to resolve all disputes in a civil and orderly manner with due process. And we are more important, all of us right now in our society. Just based on everything I've heard, your organization is more important and more vital and more needed right now. So it is really my pleasure. And before we turn to the business of the swearing in, let me congratulate both Adam, but Michael for nimbly pivoting early on and having the presidency that you did not expect you would have and the challenges that you faced. And it really appears that this organization is vital and flexible and innovative. So I'm very pleased to turn to the business. I will conclude with just a few comments on what's going on here at your courthouse on Burton Way. But first, I'm now going to swear in the Bar Association, Foundation, and Barristers boards and the executive committee. I will start with that. For the association, I'm going to list the names and then we'll do the swearing in. For the association, Adam Siegler as president, Anthony Ross as president-elect, Malcolm McNeil as first vice president, Alexander Rufus-Isaacs as second vice president, Nadira Imam as secretary-treasurer, and as governors, Jeffrey Bils, Lynda Chung, Vince Farhat, Terry Magady, Erin Prouty, Alphonse Provinziano, Mathew Rosengart, Alessandra, Tarissi de Jacobis, and Jeffrey Wolf. And for the foundation, Lynda Spiegel as president, Pierre Pine as vice president for scholarships, Stephen Young as secretary and vice president for development, and Orit Gudish as a director. And for the barristers, David Wagmeister as president. So in addition, I will re-swear those members listed on your screen who already serve on the boards. Now, everyone being sworn, please raise your right hand to take the oath. Do you solemnly affirm that you will seek to pursue justice, to maintain the high standards of our profession, and to improve the quality of the legal services for all people? Do you further affirm that you will promote the interest and welfare of the Beverly Hills Bar Association and its members to the best of your ability? Do you assume these obligations freely and with enthusiasm and pledge to well and faithfully discharge the duties which it will now be your honor to perform? Please say, I do.
I do.
Very good. Congratulations to all of you. You are sworn in. The jobs are now ahead of you. So I just am very briefly, because I am mindful that we have a Laker Heat game to watch. So I'm going to be very brief. We are up and running here at your courthouse. Judges have been back in the LA Superior Court since June 15th, actually throughout the shelter in place. Family law, essential services, other essential services were taking place, restraining order hearings, ex partes were taking place. I'm sure some of you were involved. There was much chambers work to be done by the judges and much planning to be done for the gradual reopening under the mindful and careful leadership of Judge Brazil and Judge Taylor and a whole team of leadership. So first and foremost, going forward now, is everyone's safety. So on Monday, we will reopen civil here at the Beverly Hills Courthouse for trials. We have charted out how many people can be in each courtroom. I know in Department 207, which is mine, 22 people maximum. So we'll talk about that in a moment and what that means for all of you that will be entering an LA Superior Court for a trial. Jury trials, as I'm sure you've heard, for the most part will begin in January. There are UD trials which begin next week, and preference trials. Some of those will begin as well. Criminal, we are ready for anything here in Beverly Hills. I am the one operational civil trial judge. Judge Mark Gross will be here soon in the courtroom next to mine, Department 205. We have Judge Marcia Ravel, who has been tirelessly doing traffic here for many years and has continued to do that, and she is now doing traffic trials and arraignments. We have a staff that cares very much about you, from the security, the sheriffs, to the clerks, the judicial assistants, and so your safety will come first as you enter our courtrooms. So I want to just leave you with this. What happens going forward is going to be very different than any of us experienced it in the past. So it will require collaboration on every trial lawyer coming into the court. We encourage you still to appear virtually on LA Court Connect. We thank you for your patience. We rolled it out 18 months early. We are working on the glitches real time, and I think you'll be able to see, if you haven't already, that it's becoming smoother and smoother. So we encourage you to do that as much as you can. But when it comes to trials, I'd like you to think about what we are talking about and what bar leadership is talking about with us, which is that as much of your trial that can be done virtually, you should think about that. How many witnesses you can put on virtually, it may not be ideal, but because we're going to bring jurors in for jury selection in batches, we've already seen from criminal that it is a slower process. So in order to streamline the process and keep everybody healthy with social distancing going forward, think about what witnesses can be put on effectively virtually. The courtrooms here are big. We are set up technologically with big screens. Think about when the court is ready for this, doing hardships virtually to streamline the jury selection process. We will no longer have jury assembly rooms. Jurors will come directly to the courtrooms. Also, think about this. There isn't much room at counsel table for a team of people anymore. And I am very recently a former trial lawyer. I know how we want our team close by. So for you that are coming in to try cases, know that the tape is marked off. In my courtroom, there's room for 3 people total at counsel table. The jurors are going to sit behind in the audience. But we will all work on that together, trial by trial. So just think about these things. One last thing to think about, paper documents, exhibits. One of the things under discussion that I'd like you to think about is, in the appropriate case, giving jurors iPads loaded with all the exhibits. And as many stipulations as you can reach in advance now, as always it's important, now it's even more important. So that's just a little preview. I will leave you on a happy note, which is that weddings will resume in the near future here in Beverly Hills. We are doing some remodeling on the 4th floor with that beautiful view of the city of Beverly Hills. That is where they will take place. We're just doing some retrofit right now, and then weddings will happen again. 2 people at a time as guests, but for the time being. So I want to close by thanking you all for being such good partners with the LA Superior Court. You have shown great leadership. For many, many years, you have been strong supporters of the court, and going forward now, of course, you are needed more than ever. We have very serious financial issues we are all facing as a society, and that includes the courts. And so your support and working collaboratively is greatly appreciated. Thank you all.
Your Honor, thank you very, very much for swearing us in and for that informative look into the court. I have a feeling we're going to have some further conversations with Your Honor. Your Honor, thank you very, very much for swearing us in and for that informative look into the court. I have a feeling we're going to have some further conversations with Your Honor as we go forward. There's so many litigators in our group that we'd like to learn some more. But thank you very much for attending and helping us to install our new board and officers. And now, with permission from Judge Tillman and Judge Zukin, I would like to close these proceedings. As we close, you're going to see a video on membership, and I would encourage everyone to join if you're not a member and to renew if you are. I think this is going to be a very exciting year from everything that we've heard this evening. And finally, I'd like to say congratulations to all of our officers and members, both new and returning. I value you all as colleagues and look forward to seeing you. I hope you'll all be well. And most importantly, I look forward to seeing all of you in person very soon. And you know what, folks? We're going to have prime rib. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming, and I look forward to working with all of you. Good night,
And
everyone.
go Lakers.
Everybody, thank you.
Thank you, Adam.